Hi everyone, this is going to be a quick tip on using some of DP's built-in tempo detection features and how you can use it to set up a tempo track or a conductor track for an audio file that does not actually have a pre-existing tempo map. So you'll see in the background we have our digital performer file with one stereo audio file and one mono audio track. The mono I'll get to in a second. Instead, we're going to take the sound that we want to map to. So here is our guide track. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull it right into our stereo track right there. And we're going to minimize this because we no longer need it, and maximize this because this is what we need. Now, this particular song has a lot of acoustic guitar strumming and vocals, and as you can see from the beats that just came up, and I will zoom in. I'm going to make this track a little bit bigger. It's a little bit unwieldy. It's kind of tough to discern a tempo map, at least a reliable one, from that. So what we're going to do here is I do have a little bit of extra that I'm going to shave down just to that beat, and we're going to move it over. Okay. Now, what I have here is a mono track, and I'm going to record enable this track. And take the playback off so I don't get any echoes. So I'm going to record enable this track here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bass or the guide track back, and I'm going to clap along to it. And our clap is what's going to eventually come to be our guide track when we use the tempo feature. So let's just do this now. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm just going to cut, and I'll be back in 1 second. So I'm going to hit the record button. I'm going to start clapping along to the track, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. So you'll see that I have a clap track here, and it actually already has detected the beats. I'll play you a quick clip of it. The clapping is sort of in time. It's close enough for our purposes here. Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is when we click on this, you see that it has a tempo of 120. We do not want that tempo. That is not the tempo that the song was at. It's just what the digital performer project was at when we recorded it in. So I'm going to go up to audio with our file selected. I'm going to go to Soundbite tempo, clear, audio, Soundbite tempo, and analyze. And you see now we get a new tempo, average of 95, and it has the ranges right here. Okay, and it actually has all those markings kind of embedded in the file. So now, what I can do is I can actually take this file, go up to audio, and use the command adjust sequence to Soundbite tempo, and that's going to do exactly what it says. Our sequence is going to take our tempo points and our tempo map from the click track that we just made. So when I click on that, it's going to give me a prompt. I didn't actually switch into conductor mode. You can't do tempo change without conductor mode, so you will need to switch to conductor mode. Oh, you know what? It shifted our track. Let's move our track back here, because that's what it was based on. It made a sync point right down there. Okay, right to where the arrow is. And our second beat, I was clicking eighth notes. Our second beat is actually kind of close. We'll get to that in a second, how you can go in and kind of adjust that stuff right there. And now if I enable the click, let's see what happens if I enable the click and take off our clap track. Okay, it's actually not too bad at all. You can actually see some of these measures are really lining up very nicely, some of these beats, that is. So now, the bulk of the work is done for us, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to clean it up just a little bit. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the adjust beats function. Now, I'm going to click on this guy right here, and we're going to go to the adjust beats function, which is under project, modify conductor track, and adjust beats. Now, there's a couple different things in this menu here. We can only adjust beats, or if we want, we can adjust whole measures. Let's just try beats for right now. Now, you get the commands down here, move one beat at a time, move all following beats by the same amount. We saw that it started to get on pretty quickly. I actually don't want to move all the following beats. I actually want to only move one beat at a time for this. And snapping, notes or audio beats, will leave that and preserve real-time performance, which is exceptionally useful for MIDI. And someone, I believe it's maybe Shushy, that has a really good tutorial on using pre-recorded MIDI tracks and using the adjust beats feature to kind of get a map from that. So this is a little bit different. This is audio. So now with my adjust beats window up, I can actually go over to these bar lines here and shift them right to where I want my track to go. Now that's beat 3 right there. And I can actually adjust it that way, like so. And you see that those other measures are not actually moving at all. Now, let's go and just do a little bit more. You can see it's really starting to line up. It's pretty tight. At least to the clap track, which hopefully yours will be a little more in time than mine was. Okay, now if I go back to here, let's leave that click on. I'm going to close out the adjust beats window. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. And let's see what we have. So you can see that the tempo is actually now pretty tight, and this is going to be exceptionally useful if you want to go and either, well, edit first off, and B, if I actually wanted to put a piano track or anything else, that I now have a MIDI edit grid, and it is not compromised by putting a click to the performer if they don't want that, although the click is always great. But if the performer doesn't want that, if they just want to play it free, this is a great way to be able to use a freely recorded audio file and actually apply a tempo after the fact so you can score to it or do whatever else it is that you need to do to it.